Hi. Welcome back to the Goddess Style channel. I'm Mary Rosa Crow, your goddess coach and therapist, and your everyday mom who loves sharing good tips, good reviews, and just general positivity. So today I'm going to share with you another of my own top tips on how you can have amazingly smooth and silky skin. And I'm filming right here in my bathroom because a lot of it has got to do with what you do in here. Anyway, before I continue, I would love for you to remember to hit like to this video when you're done watching it, and give it a comment if you got anything that you want to say. And if you love my channel, you love my personality, my vibe, why don't you give me a subscribe by clicking on that bell button, and you will be notified every time I post up a new video. Anyway, so let's continue. Now, there's so many things as a woman, even though I'm espousing the goddess life and the goddess style and everything to do with being a goddess, I am just like every other woman. I love certain things about me, and I don't like certain things about me. There's nothing about myself that I hate. I just feel like, oh, I wish I'm a little bit taller. I'm 5'0" nothing. I wish I'm a little bit thinner. I wear size 8, 10. And, I wish my thighs are not as chunky as my dancer's thighs are. But generally, I'm okay with them. I'm okay with not being tall. I'm okay with not being slim. But there's one thing I really, really love about my body is my skin. There's been, lots of comments from friends and ex-boyfriends. When they touch my skin, they said you have the most amazingly soft soft and smooth skin. And always friends are asking me, what's your tip? What do you do? What do you eat? What do you use? So I thought, let me do this video so that I can share these tips once and for all. Now, please be reminded, the biggest organ in your body is not your lungs, your kidney, your heart. It is your skin. It's constantly renewing. It's constantly breathing. This is the skin is what we call the external lungs. In Chinese traditional medicine, which I have learned, anything wrong with the skin, we always like, this is what's happening inside your body. They tell you they give you the tips first. So whatever you do, you need to take care of your external lungs, right? So first tip number 1, drink enough fluid. I'm not going to say water because some people may not necessarily want to drink jugs and jugs of plain boring water, but you could say like miso soup is a fluid, clear broth is a fluid, a very watery cup of tea without all the sugars and all that crazy stuff is also a fluid. So whatever you do, as long as it's not a diuretic, if you drink it and you have enough hydration, just look in your pee. If your pee is nice and very soft, gentle, very light yellow, you've got enough liquid. If it's a little bit more, if it's less mellow, you need to have more liquid. So drink up. Tip number 2 is take care of your food intake. Now, in this world today, we've got an abundance of amazing food, and yet it's still competing with a lot of bad food out there, like all this fast food, junk food, ready-made fried foods. Now, I am not a big fan of junk food, only because my mom, the way I was raised, we're not big on junk food, especially in the Asian society, we're very much cook your own meals at home 3 times a day. Yes, we cook even our breakfast. So I get proper hot meals even for breakfast. And I don't know how to eat lots of junk food. Okay, I do love my crisp, my Asian keropok, but it's not something I eat every day. I'm not into sweets and crackers and chocolates, so I stay away from all those things. So one of the things we have to look, of course, I told you, is your skin your skin shows what you have been consuming inside. So if you eat junk, your skin will become junky. Some people are just very susceptible to break out when they've been eating a lot of chocolate, for example. It could be the sugar, because the sugar condenses, the sugar gets processed in your stomach, and then the stomach gives us toxins, and that, remember I said the skin is like your lungs. It secretes all the toxins through your body, through your skin. So therefore, some people have pimples, and some of them is not just confined to their face. They can have pimples on the shoulders, in the back, on the chest. So all these things are a symptom of what's going on inside you. So you want to be looking after the inside too. Tip number 3, I don't do these things. One of them, smoking. I don't smoke. Smoking does cause wrinkles, as you can tell from a lot of people you see. I've seen a lot of celebrities and stars who smoke like a chimney, and you get all these wrinkles around their mouth and around here, around their eyes. Smoking dries out your skin. And the other thing you need to be taking care of is your alcohol consumption. I'm not a big fan of alcohol either. I only drink when my husband is around me and with me. I don't really drink to put myself to sleep. I don't drink wine. I have very certain things that I drink. So my alcohol consumption is really, really low. So again, alcohol is a diuretic just like coffee. So it makes your skin very dry. So this is not very good for your skin. Tip number 4 is take care of your skin when it comes to the sun. Now, in a lot of places, actually, we are dying from the lack of vitamin D, from the lack of sunlight. But at the same time, a lot of people are lacking in good sun care. They go out, especially all my British friends I see here in Costa del Sol in southern Spain. They go out without, they're like, oh, I'm getting the sun because in London it's so great all the time. They go out in the sun without a hat, or maybe they're bald. You can see their skin is kind of peeling or red. They look like lobsters, and they think, I'm finally getting the sun. And then they go home and they start peeling and it gets really bad, and that can also dry out your skin. So please take care when you are going out. I know we're kind of at the end of summer now, but if any of you are going out, if you're watching this in Australia, on the southern hemisphere, or you're living somewhere near the tropics, along the equator, do take care of your skin. Now, one of the things that very lucky for people living near the equator, even though they have the sun, they tend to look younger because of one thing. It's humidity. And humidity is what's keeping a lot of, people born in the tropics, or Asians, or people from tropical Africa. They look a little bit younger than people living up north, is because there's more humidity, so their skin looks. So this brings me to my next part of my tip. So I'm in my bathroom now. So for tip number 5 and onwards, I'm in my bathroom because I want to tell you that every 3 days when I shower, I don't have bath because I find bath very drying for my skin. I've got a combination skin, so my facial skin is T-zone, and the rest of my body is normal in the sense that when I sweat, I do get the oily skin. But I find bath very drying. I find it very boring. I have better things to do than sit in the bath and just kind of like twiddle-dee, twiddle-dum. I want to read a book, and then it gets wet. I want to read my iPad, it gets wet. So I'd rather just a quick power shower. But one of the things I use in my bath, in my shower, every 3 days at least, is you can use either a loofah or a brush, or like me, I use this cute little loofah gloves. So I've just bought new ones from a Flying Tiger. I've been using something like a bit more minging, but I do wash them in hot water and I sterilize them, every couple of weeks. And when I use them, I quickly rinse them off with clean soap and clean water, and then I dry them off in the air. I air dry them. So anyway, so this gets rid of your dead skin, and every 3 days is kind of the bare minimum. I try not to go beyond once a week because your skin does collect. And I noticed that if I go to like a week before I use this, oh my God, it's like I scrub off the brown I can see in the bath, that the water is quite brown. It is all the dead skin that I'm sloughing off. Tip number 6, to keep your skin nice and moist, try not to use any soap that contains SLS or soap, like proper soap, because anything that's slathered, there's so much foam, there's a lot of lather, it is very drying for my skin. So these are the products I use. They're quite expensive compared to like your supermarket brand, but for me, good skin is something that I'm really, very careful, what's the word that I'm really concerned about. So one of them I use is this brand called La Roche-Posay Lipica Gel Lavant. That is actually a shower gel. It doesn't lather up very much. That is why when I use it with this, I tend to try and lather as much as I can, and then I just scrub it all over my body. my husband has psoriasis, and I have just developed eczema since moving here to Spain because the air is so dry. That is affecting my skin, so I want to make sure that I do not dry it even more, so I make sure I only use this. And my son also has eczema, so I also buy this one. It's a little bit more expensive than this one. This is 13 euros here in the supermarket in Carrefour, and this other one I use for my son. It's a brand called Uriage Creme Lavant. It's a cleansing shower cream. It smells like soap. It smells heavenly. I absolutely love it. It smells amazing. It's very creamy. It does lather up a little bit like soap, but it doesn't. It's so moisturizing that when you come out from the shower, you're like, oh, my skin is so soft. So I use these two products in the shower. Tip number 7: moisturize, and oil up. Okay, so in the summer, when I've done my shower, when I've used all this and I've packed myself dry, I always make sure that I put very good moisturizing cream. I use, for example, like Neutrogena or cocoa butter, my Palmer's cocoa butter. And now that my skin is a little bit dry here because I've developed this eczema, this dry skin from the irritation from the low humidity here in Spain, on my face I use vitamin C serum. And on my body, yes, on my hands, on my legs, and my shoulder, the places that gets a lot more, exposure to the air, I actually use this vitamin C, Dead Sea Minerals and Vitamin C Complex. I found this in TK Maxx. You can see, oops, ta-da, there you go. And I paid $7.99 for this. And the other one I use in winter or when the weather gets really cold and dry is this Clinical's Anti-Aging, so it's, oops, here you go, Vitamin C Facial Oil with Rosehip essential oil. So this rosehip is really, really good, especially for women. It really does balances your hormone. It helps you reproduce your skin cells, and they contain vitamin E. So these are really, really good for you. Another thing you can do is in Tesco's, you can get vitamin E capsules. They're like oil capsules. And I used to do this. Instead of taking it, instead of consuming it as a capsule, as a pill, I would actually poke a little hole into these little, soya capsules, and I squeeze out the oil, and I will mix this vitamin E oil with my thick, rich rose cream, and I'll slather it all over my skin. So I knew someone who had a lot of scars she had a lot of scars from whatever issues, and I told her this tip, and actually it does help. And she's like, oh my god, now it looks so much better. All the scars that you can see is getting less obvious. So that is another tip. Now, tip number 8, last tip, is the boring tip, but it's very, very important because I see it happening to me when I don't do tip number 8. It is to have enough sleep. Enough sleep, yes, I know. When you have enough sleep, your body releases a lot of cortisol, and that, gives you, this cringy, this eye bags, this tired face, this really tired skin. But at the same time, when you have enough sleep, your body produces a lot of anti-aging, it gets, I don't know, oh my god, I can't even think. I don't have enough sleep. I've been so busy this last couple of days, I have enough sleep. Terrible, right? I'm not taking my own advice. But anyway, so you need to have enough sleep because, when you sleep, it's a time where your body actually starts to clear out all these radical things and all the toxins, and it starts to rebalance your hormone and reproduce all the cells again. So I call it the doctoring period. So the later to sleep you go, even though you sleep at say 2 in the morning and you wake up the next day at 12, there's only so many hours that the skin, your body actually starts to heal itself, and that's very late at night until kind of like about 3 or 4 in the morning. And this is why when you go to bed late, no matter how late you wake up, you will still feel tired. But anyway, so there you go. That is 8 tips for keeping your skin silky smooth and soft and hopefully keep you at bay from aging. So these are my tips, and I hope I can think of more in the next couple of vlogs. If I think of anything else I want to share with you, I'll add the link below. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a silky, smooth day further.